Hello, this is Paul at Magnitude. In this video, you will come to understand the essentials of the POPIAcheck readiness activity, and specifically the creation of a record in the readiness activity. By the end of the clip, you will understand the key basics of this activity in order that you can use it with confidence. We're going to be spending a little bit more time in this particular tutorial than in the ones that follow on from this one, because it is the first system functional activity you are engaging with. And so it makes some sense for us to use it as a sort of master example where we slow down and take a little bit more time to look around with fresh eyes. And I believe that by spending some more time here, we will be able to move faster through the ones that follow on from this. This is because of the modular nature of the Magnitude solution and the way that the system flows work here inside the readiness activity will be replicated across the system. So in the orientation video at the other activities, we will refer to this video time to time because of the detail that we're covering here. Good. Now, the purpose of the readiness activity is to assist an information officer to understand what key matters need their attention and whether or not they are on or off track with these. We can expect this activity to be a pretty low frequency use compared to some of the others that you're going to be using. And this is because naturally you tend to do an assessment such as this one in your organization or your business only once or twice, probably a year, and then you update it from time to time. That's certainly the reality of our own company. An important reminder now is that the POPIAcheck cannot do the work for you, unfortunately. No software can do that. As an information officer, you do the driving, and POPIAcheck is perhaps your map to support you to get to the correct place. But you're at the wheel though. During the course of all the tutorials, this one included, from time to time, I will make reference to additional orientation tutorials available to you that will support you with specific functions or features of the service. And when I do this, this is where you can find them. So at this slide now, you can see a reminder of where to find them at the magnitudeapps.com website under the tab Resources. I've moved into the Activities page of the POPIAcheck. This Activities page is in effect the home page of the service. And it really makes no difference whether you, at any given moment you are utilizing the web, desktop-based or mobile app-based version of POPIAcheck. The system is essentially exactly the same in both formats with just a little bit of difference, which will be explained. For feature level orientation of the activities page, please refer to that resource at the Magnitude Apps website. Now, we're going to do a new readiness assessment. I will run the procedure on the basis that we're doing it for the first time, which makes sense. It's quite realistic. And later we will run the procedure of updating an assessment with new information. That is in the video that follows. So here I am on the activities page at the tile Readiness. To move forward, we click on this icon here above the Readiness. And at this point in time, what we should not do is click on, don't be misled by any of these other little icons because they will take us somewhere else. And right now the objective is to create a new record under Readiness. So we click on this icon here. Now we have moved to the Pulse page. And for specific information about the features of this interface, please reference the resource at magnitudeapps.com. What we want to do now is press on the Get Ready button as we're doing a new readiness assessment. So I press there and we have moved forward into the relevant form, the assessment form. An interesting point for you to note is that your service has arrived for you to use with the contact details of your information officer team built in. So here you can see under contact info, this is our team. When you engaged with our service, we asked your company who is your information officer team at the time of that engagement, And one of the reasons we asked you for that is so that we could lock in those members into your system. In all cases under POPIA, the company leader, in other words, the managing director, is the responsible officer, and that person is able to delegate to deputy information officers. So in our company's case, Paul, that's me, I am the delegated information officer, and Simon here is the CEO. For a feature level orientation to this contact locking functionality, please refer to the tutorials under resources at our website. Over here on the top right, there is the possibility to add or delete collaborators associated with this particular process at these green and red icons. However, that will make absolutely no sense in the context of this process, so I can't emphasize or suggest strongly enough that you just don't go near them in this particular process. You'll just land up causing yourself some unnecessary drama. Within a form, within this form, there is guidance text in blue font, and that pattern is held across your server. So wherever you come across blue font, that is information or education for you within the context of the process that you're engaging at that time. I'll scroll through the form. You can see that this one is actually a pretty long one by necessity. And as I scroll through, I just highlight a few things. You see some blue text, which is information for you or education. And from time to time, you'll see a red asterisk at a field. And anytime you see a red asterisk, this is an indication of a mandatory field. You cannot submit the form where the mouse is hovering now, submit. You cannot submit unless every mandatory field has been completed. And in the event that somebody makes the mistake of submitting prior to that, the form will automatically go to the first field which has not been responded to but is mandatory. Okay, now instead of you watching me fill in this complete form, which is a little bit long for a video like this, what I'm going to do is take the opportunity to explain the draft function. So the draft button here, one has the option at the end of at any time to submit a form if all fields are completed, or to draft at any moment. And draft is simply freezing your work in progress. So I will do that now. I will draft this, and it has been submitted into the draft. And as you can see, now I have one draft available for me here. Let me show you how this works. So previously we pressed on the Get Ready button, but now I'm going to be pressing on the Draft button. The Draft button brings me to the key details of the form. I can delete it here, in which case it disappears forever, or I can edit. In the event that I edit it, it opens up and the system places a red box around every field that needs your attention, whether it has been previously completed or not, because you may very well want to adjust that. I can change data in the field as I'm doing now. And once I'm completely satisfied that I have updated correctly, I can submit, or of course I can draft again. In this case, I submit. So a reminder that I used draft in this tutorial actually to accelerate the process because of the work I'd done prior to the tutorial. But as you can see, it can be a useful function for you as well at any time. Please note that drafts are the one aspect of the POPIacheck service that is not portable between your web login and your mobile app login. So where you draft a particular record, that is where you will find it. The drafting is not portable between devices. Having submitted the form, I am now coming to our place of record of these forms. You can see the forms here anytime after you've pressed submit. As a default, the system will always show you a summary view. So right now we are in summary view. And the intention of the summary view is to present you with the minimum possible detail for you to understand what is going on quickly in this particular activity and what might need your attention. So as you can see in my example, as the information officer, the system is indicating to me that my assessment scored at 90%, and that the area that requires my additional focus at this time is under foreseeable security compromises. The score here, the 90%, is driven by a score rule that we have set ourselves at the development side. For a feature level orientation to the toolbar functionality that I'm scrolling around at the top here at the moment, please refer to the relevant tutorial section under resources at our website. From the summary view, I can click on it in order to expand it to the full view, full detailed view. And as you can see, the system is actually prompting me to do that quite frequently. Now we see the full detail of the captured record. All of the record toolbar remains available, so nothing has changed for you there. And if we click on the contact info, then that reminds us who are the collaborators in this particular process. There are a number of things we may wish to do while working with a record, simply depending on the reality of our circumstances. One of the things we may want to do is create an action note associated with it. By clicking on the action bar and typing in the @ sign, I can then move into collaboration with my fellow team of officers, Simon in this case. And I can now type a message out here in order to communicate with him on record. At the action bar, there are many other features, and please refer to the resources tab at our website for further information about the internal messaging system we have here at the action chat bar. I'm pressing the back arrow now. We may want to resolve this record by clicking here at the ticks, and resolving the record closes it out, moves it from an unresolved status into an archive status. And of course, all these other tools which I've mentioned, and please, again, reference to the relevant resource at our website for function level tutorials of these tools. Of course, what's also very likely is that we will want to update this record. That specific tutorial is the next one in the sequence, so I am not dealing with that right now. Therefore, for this tutorial, we are now complete. I'm pressing on the home icon to go back to the activity screen. Remember that we spent a lot of time looking at things inside this activity that we will move more rapidly over in the ones subsequent to this tutorial. We're a little bit slower here to give you a grand reference. Okay, to wrap up in this video, let's see what we've taken you through. We've spoken about the essentials of the readiness activity and the purpose of the activity in your world as an information officer. You have a good idea now how to execute and submit a new record, and how to use the draft function in order to save a draft, edit a draft, or delete a draft. We've explained the importance of mandatory fields in the form. We've had a look at the summary view of a submitted record, and by clicking on that, expanded it into a full detailed view of that same record. And we've had a quick look at some of the peripheral features of the service and referenced you to more specific resources at our website for those mini tutorials. Basically a general understanding of the POPIacheck service as well. The next tutorial in the sequence is readiness activity, updating a record, and I'll see you there.